All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. You know, I've been making a little bit of silver videos lately. And, you know, people are seeing the price drop. And they notice that I'm not talking about it much. First of all, because I'm preoccupied. And I have a lot of other things that I'm doing right now. But silver is always a wise investment. I don't care what is happening in this world today. I don't care what the fundamentals of what they're trying to sell you is. The truth is, the fundamentals of this country has never changed. It hadn't changed. We're still in debt. How do you go from a Dow that was just under $10,000, under 10,000, excuse me, and then a few years ago, maybe more, 4 or 5 years ago, and we were $6-7 trillion in debt, allegedly. Not including unfunded liabilities, Medicaid, Medicare, social programs, and all this other stuff. And here we are 5 years later, double the amount of debt. A little over double the amount of debt at 17 trillion, and then the Dow is knocking on the door of 16,000. What does it take to get people to understand the stupidity that is going on today? I had somebody make a comment down there earlier because I was telling about investing in the bank. As long as you're putting deposits in the bank is happy and stuff, and they try to get you to invest in their instruments or their paper, their tools. And as long as you're investing in their tools, then they're fine and good. But they're smiling when you're making deposits. But if you're taking money out, they look at you like you're a terrorist or something that's just happened, something is wrong. That's the reason why I say in order to avoid that type of scrutiny and stuff, get it out. And I'm also need to follow even more so that advice itself. I said in the past, only keep the amount of money, this is what I would do, in the bank you're willing to lose. Now, back to the $50 investing all the way down to $5. I was buying silver when it was $5 an ounce. I bought it all the way up when it was $50 an ounce. And some people, you know, are asking me, do you regret buying silver at $50 an ounce? And the answer is a positively no. Because I know that I'm investing in something tangible. Excuse me for a second. All right, I'm back. Sorry for that. I know that I am investing in something tangible, something that is real, something that is a hard asset that will never lose its value. It's never been to zero. And so therefore, I don't have to worry about the coppers, the scoffers, and everybody else out there trying to devalue that. I don't care what they say. It always carries value no matter what. And it's been a store of wealth and value for 6,000 years. And when I mention silver and metals, I'm also talking about gold too. So no, you are always at an advantage no matter what the market is. People say buy on the highs. I mean, don't buy on the highs when everybody is talking about it and then buy on the lows. It's called market manipulation. I understand that precept, I understand the concept, I understand all of that stuff. But you need to buy silver while it's cheap. $50 was cheap silver. Buy it all the time if you can. Take a little bit of money out of your paycheck and get a few ounces here and a few ounces there. And later on, you're gonna thank me for it. You're gonna thank a lot of other people who you've been listening to that you actually truly invested in it. Because most of you, the reason why, and I've learned this even in ministry as a pastor, that my most critical people of whatever I preach and teach are the ignorant ones. I'm sitting up here telling the truth, but you have to understand the truth is not the truth to you until you get it. Do you understand that? That doesn't mean that the truth hasn't been the truth all this time, because it has. But in this country, you process and thought different, think different. We've been trained and not educated. And truth is been there, and it's still there. And you will not embrace that truth because you don't know it's the truth. But then when you get it, all of a sudden, the people who you call names, the people who you scrutinize, the people who you mock, derided, chide, ridiculed, and all the other superlatives, negative superlatives you can put with it, all of a sudden they're intelligent people because you get it. No, they were intelligent all along. It's just that you were stupid all along. And this is the same way when investing in so-called silver and gold. You know, how can they have a 6,000-year track record and it'd always be a store of wealth. And then all of a sudden we get in this society, and then in 1970 when Nixon took us off the gold standard, all of a sudden it ain't money no more. All of a sudden it's just tradition and value. I mean, it's just crazy. It's nonsensical. But you can pick and choose to believe what you want. You live in this country. You live in this world. Hey, but the choices and decisions you make are ultimately going to affect you and those who come behind you. You know, principles in the Bible says if you listen to a wise man, you'll be wise, and still you listen to a fool, you'll be a fool. But buying silver at $5.50, it's always a good investment. You buy it all the way across the spectrum. I don't regret it at all since this fiat currency, this so-called currency. Now listen to this. It has really no value except what they say. You know, think about our country. We need money to pay our bills, or else we're going to shut the federal government down. Okay, America, Barack Hussein Obama, president and Congress, where are we going to get this money from? Because countries are not lending to us. China's are not lending to us no more. The gig is up. The dollar's losing its value. And nobody wants it as the world reserve currency no more. Our credit rating is continually keep going down. So what do? Well, we don't care about the world since we're the #1 world superpower. We have the greatest military might in the history of mankind. So I tell you what we do. We just going to get them printing presses running, and we're going to determine how much money we need for a certain period of time, and we're going to print some more, and we're going to print some more, and we're going to print. Where you get it from? Well, you get it from these people in the Federal Reserve Bank. You get it from them. And they're going to charge America an extraordinary amount of interest, because remember, with these people, it's all about the interest. Because, I mean, it's amazing. You can create something out of thin air and call it value and money. You buy stuff with it that's going to deteriorate, rot, and everything else. And we're still playing this game and keep on playing this game and choose to be totally oblivious to reality. And because they tell us it's money, we believe it's money because we can buy a few things with it. And when we finally default on this dollar, that's when you're going to feel the presence. That's when you're going to feel the power of all these liars out here. CNNBC, Yahoo Business, Fox Business, all these so-called networks, including these rich folks, who you have to understand, Warren Buffett, Rupert Murdoch, and all these other people out there that are so-called investor experts. These boogers get inside trading secrets. They get special deals and backroom deals that you and I never get. That's how they made their wealth. Nobody in this country that is a billionaire made their money honestly. Nobody in this country that is a multi-millionaire is making their money honestly. They all have to bow down to the devil. Every one of them, whether you like it or not, is dishonest gain. Just like Federal Reserve notes is dishonest. It's not just weights and balances. But anyway, you know, we're in a serious mess in this country, a very serious mess in this country. Whenever we can be duped and deceived into thinking that paper is something. Start investing in yourselves and start thinking with an alternate conscience outside the way this system, so that you'll learn and so that you'll know and so you can preserve yourself. But we're just finished as a people. We really truly are. And those of us who can see the forest for the trees, we're making the necessary moves in order to preserve and protect ourselves. And people say, well, you always talking about money, Pastor, because I'm a pastor. I believe the Bible. I'm not like all the rest of these people, but I really do believe it. And of course, the Bible says that money answers all things. So if you ain't got none, then what? What then? What kind of answers do you got? And then the scriptures also say, it is better to die than to beg. You don't want to be in that situation. So start investing in yourself. Become intelligent. Start making moves. So don't buy all the way up, down the scale, because no matter what, you store in paper, you stored $10,000 10 years ago, you lost. You lost in value big time because of inflation, the recession, the depression that we're in, the inflationary depression, and because all these prices is going up. And most of us that are out there working, we're not even getting a wage increase to keep up with the extraordinary amount of inflation that is being produced today. And of course, all you people out there in Walmart, you're out there working, but you're working and you're well under the poverty level as far as income. And it's just a mess. And not only that, not only just people at Walmart, but everybody is. And it's a literal shame. It's a literal shame what they've done to our conscience and our mind. if you're going to change, and a lot of times you need to get away from a lot of things that you have been accustomed to and separate yourself so that you can think independently in order to really see what's going on, because the radio is a distraction, the TV is a distraction, people who have their own personal opinions and trying to pass it off as truth is a distraction. You need to know for yourself, because that's the only way you're going to be able to see through the deception, the lies, the cunningness, and the wickedness. I've talked so much until I'm about blue in the face trying to give information. Pass this video along and maybe somebody else will have the wisdom to hear what I'm trying to say. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't care if you don't invest in silver, gold, or anything. I'm here providing a service to you free of charge. I'm giving you wisdom free of charge, because I know that many of you are not going to do the painstaking task of going and researching and checking out history and doing all this. I'm trying to just awaken your conscience, because I know that faith comes by hearing. In other words, action comes by hearing. I know that. So, hey, as long as they allow me to be on YouTube, and they are allowing me to be on YouTube, as long as they allow me to be on YouTube, I'm going to try to do what I can to be a benefit to you and your family and those who you care about. And if you choose not to follow my advice, fine. And don't worry about it. I won't lose any sleep over it. If you choose to hate me, it's your life. Hate me. I don't mind. I don't care. People are going to do that. You choose to love me, love me. I will love you. But I'm not about to give any place to anybody in this world who hates me. As a matter of fact, if you're my enemy, most of my enemies are cowards. And most of them are enemies behind the scenes. They won't come out in the forefront and face to face tell me that they're an enemy. Because when I find out that they're my enemy, I let them know that you're my enemy. And I agree with you being the enemy. And I would be the best enemy you ever had in your life. I know that's against Christian concept. But after all, the Bible is not a Christian book anyway. It's Hebraic. Y'all have a good day. I got to get back to work.